This is going to be our first episode of a new series called Gaming Religiously. It's going to be a regular segment in Jacob's new series, and what are you calling that series?
Jacob! Exclamation point! AKA Red Oprah.
So this is his self-obsession medley.
Yeah, self-obsession medley that I give over to various other people, including I have chosen you, Sofia Mukamadova, as the first person to have this residency for the entire year of 2017 on Jacob. So thank you very much for accepting. What are we going to be doing for this, focusing on in this year?
So this segment gets its inspiration from Gaijin Goomba. His channel is awesome, and I'll link to that. He does cultural analysis of characters in video games, so please check him out. He's awesome. And let him know I sent you, because it would be hilarious if he went, who is this Sofia Mukamadova?
I know, I would love that too, even though I don't know who this is.
yeah, like I am not on his radar at
Just
all.
because I would love Sofia Mukamadova to become a thing.
It would just be hilarious for me.
Yeah.
This first episode's going to probably be a little bit subpar because it's a new format, and I've come down with a serious case of CBA.
Which is?
Which is can't be ours.
Okay.
It's not that I don't care.
Yes.
It's not that I don't care, it's that I'm super depressed.
Well, would you like to talk about that? How does that make you feel? No, we've talked about that quite a bit. You have reasons to be depressed.
Yeah.
As any follower of Sofia will know.
Yeah. So, on with the Wikipedia analysis.
Yes, let's do that. Gaming religiously, what does it mean?
Well, basically, I just want to look at the cultural inspirations behind some of the characters in my favorite video games.
Okay. Wonderful. And how it intersects with some of the other themes that we talk about in our Abrahamic traditions and homosexuality episodes?
Exactly. Looking at, not just how, who these people are in the video game, but how that intersects with who the character, the character that they're based on in real life.
Yes.
As you can see in the video, or the images if Jacob doesn't attach the video, the character that we're going to be discussing today is Ishtar. Shards of Magic is a free-to-play game available on Android and the iOS App Store. Spoiler for the first 5 minutes of gameplay, you're a hero who has awakened to find that you now possess a shard of the ether, and you and your very hungry best friend must use the incredible power bestowed by it to defeat the undead. Not copyright-infringing Navi from the Legend of Zelda series has been drawn by the ether and will be your guide as you attempt to navigate through this new life. The game was published by Reality Squared Games in association with S Plus and Amazing Entertainment. The game allows you to team up with a variety of characters to help you in your quest to defeat Dusan, the head of the undead. And most of these characters come from rather obvious cultural backgrounds, like Santa and the royal musician.
Santa. Wait, what? So what is the royal music? Or is Santa the royal musician?
No.
Is that an avatar of Santa?
The royal musician is...
I'm gonna search now.
One of the beefeaters, I think they're called. The guys that stand outside the...
Okay. So like a court musician. So it's a British origination. Does he have bagpipes?
He does, yes.
Okay. So I'm seeing someone who represents him. But I'm also seeing a picture of pop singer Lorde, who I'm guessing is not the royal musician.
No.
She is the musician behind Royals, though. And that is where Google, I guess, grabbed her. Okay. Now that we know what the royal musician is.
And a lot of the characters have very funny lore fragments, like Cottontail, who has the lore fragment, she comes from a galaxy called Las Vegas. So Ishtar, as depicted in game, uses the power of love and seduction to silence her enemies. So to culturally analyze it, we have to ask, how faithful is that adaptation to her real-life source? And I can tell you all, it's pretty accurate. She can use her attack Blow Kiss to deal damage to a single enemy, or her attack Fatal Temptation to attack a row of enemies. The Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar was a goddess of love and fertility, and when she descended into the underworld, all love and sex on earth stopped. Men did not approach women, bulls did not mount cows, and the ram did not mount the sheep, and life itself was endangered because there was no reproduction happening. was very concerning to the other gods, so they sent Urushinamir to seduce Irkala, who also appears in game, goddess of the underworld. When Urushinamir had successfully seduced Irkala, she found out that he was a eunuch, which angered her. So she realized that this was the punishment of the gods because she was holding Ishtar in the underworld. So she banished Ishtar from the underworld in a fit of horny rage. I don't know what you call it when a woman gets cock blocked, but
Pussy blocked. That's what they call it on Vivid Radio. That's what they call it on porn radio.
So yeah, she got pussy blocked and she wasn't too happy about it.
Amazing.
So,
this is amazing radio right now.
In the original text, having Ishtar around is very important, not just for human fertility. Another Mesopotamian source about her is the Epic of Gilgamesh, where we find out she's had quite a few lovers in her lifetime, and it ended badly for all of them. She approached Gilgamesh as he left the river after bathing, and it says, Ishtar looked up at Gilgamesh's handsome pride.
Wink, wink, which we all know what that was.
Come to me, she whispered. Come to me and be my groom.
Assyrian
Let me
rod.
taste all parts of you. Treat me as your husband. Treat you as my husband.
Is that your seductive voice?
Yeah. I'm not very good at it, so.
You wouldn't last 2 seconds on porn radio.
Yeah, I know.
Beside the fact that you're asexual, it's your seduction voice.
Oh, God. The only time I get any is in my dreams where I'm apparently a lesbian.
Breaking news here on Gaming Religiously. Sophia Mukumedova is a lesbian.
But only
at
when
night.
I'm sleeping.
Well, I don't know. I guess technically a lot of your sleeping does occur during the technical day.
That's true.
So, I don't know. By day, you're an oh my god! So this is finally bringing truth to the pretty much legendary, well, not really, but a way overused back in the day, psychoanalytic concept of unconscious homosexuality. You literally are a homosexual when unconscious.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, you know, it's so weird. And it's not like I feel like I'm repressing my sexuality or something.
It's only present when you're asleep.
Yeah, and the rest of the time I'm legit disgusted by it.
Well, yeah, I believe
what
you.
What is going on with this?
Legit unconscious homosexuality.
Yeah, it is so weird. You know, it weirds me out every time. Like last night, I had a very lesbian dream.
Really? Did it involve Ishtar?
No, but it didn't involve hiring
an escort?
Yeah, but like a high class one.
Yeah.
There was a limo.
There was a limo? Oh, jeez. You have... So not only are you an unconscious lesbian, but you're an unconscious, like, luxuriant, which is so in contrast to your actual daily life.
I'm a very rich socialite lesbian.
You're like subliminal life is like the complete opposite of your actual life.
It is so much.
I guess we should get back on topic.
Yeah.
So you said this would be subpar, and you were wrong. This is ace material here.
So Gilgamesh asks Ishtar what kind of dowry would be sufficient for her, as she is a goddess, and says that while he would be happy to give her bread and sacrifices as her devotee, he could never be her lover, because it's ended badly for all of her previous lovers. Tammuz, the lover of her youth, who she took years to seduce, she ended up killing, and this is what causes weather changes. Since he's a god, he can't really stay dead, but she still kills him every single year, causing the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So then she left a bird, but cut off its wings so it couldn't fly away from her, which causes it to sing lamentful songs at night.
And that's why we have ostriches that can't fly, right?
I don't know if it's ostriches or more like the birds.
Oh, well, psych. No, I retract that, because ostriches actually do have wings, right?
Yeah, they do have wings.
They do have wings.
Well. Yeah, but they can't use them. They can't actually move them.
They can't use them. So, what bird doesn't have wings?
I don't know that they were talking about, like, a specific bird. I think that they meant, like, birds.
A theoretical bird?
Make a lot of... Yeah, theoretical bird that sings a lot.
Okay.
And then she loved a lion, which she later impaled.
Oh, geez.
And then she loved a horse, but tied him up in chains, leading to the subservience of all horses to be maintained creatures for men to ride on. And then she loved a shepherd boy, but did something awful to his dick.
And this is the one question I had before we got into the dream state or whatever stuff, is when I was reviewing this material, is what exactly does the text indicate she did to him?
Actually, unfortunately, that bit is damaged.
Oh,
in the text.
Seriously?
Yes.
So it just says that she damaged his penis.
Yes.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
And we don't have that part of the text because it's damaged.
What do you think it was intentionally damaged by moralists?
No. The text was kind of. It's on a clay tablet.
Yeah.
And the clay tablet had been through a lot over the years.
I'm sure. Well, also, I don't really think it's having had to be forced to read it in high school, and I'll admit I probably didn't read that much of it, but I didn't find it that compelling. So, a bad story, probably causes it to decay more. However, the more I hear about Ishtar, the more interested in Mesopotamian theology that I am. She seems interesting.
But she doesn't react very well to getting turned down by Gilgamesh. So she went to her dad and forced him to give her the Bowl of Heaven, which probably pulled the sun across the sky, but I'm too lazy to look it up.
Which sounds plausible because it sounds like Apollo, and we know all of these traditions just blatantly plagiarized off each other, so I would believe that.
Yeah, that's basically, what I'm thinking too. Gilgamesh slaughters the Bowl of Heaven, which leads to the death of his best friend Enkidu.
Which didn't they possibly have homosexual relations, or am I pulling that out of complete thin air?
It's kind of difficult to tell from the text because it does refer to them as like lovers.
Lovers, okay.
But like what kind of love that is kind of hard to like pull out of the text.
Yes, and what did lovers mean in Mesopotamia BC minus whatever?
So it's kind of hard to pull out of the text what the relationship Enkidu was, but Gilgamesh very much loved him.
Yes.
And that much is very clear. His death is what sets off Gilgamesh making a journey to visit the god. The whole epic of Gilgamesh is the story of Gilgamesh and Enkidu. That back in the game, a fragment says, "I am the dark of the moon, beyond your understanding or grasp." Ishtar's relationship with the moon varies. Via newworldencyclopedia.org, she is sometimes described as the daughter of the moon goddess Nigal and her consort, who are the patron deities of Uruk. In other traditions, however, she is the daughter of a distant sky god An. Later, she is also portrayed as his wife.
Okay.
As for being beyond your understanding...
in sometimes, you were the daughter of your father and his wife in that situation at that time in that area, so could be both. We know Egypt did some things like that, I believe. And we were talking about just last time we had recorded an Abrahamic tradition, we were talking about in Persia, which is adjacent, there was such a almost like a state sponsoring of incest.
Yeah, exactly. So the relationship between between her and the moon is kind of changes a lot based on where you are and the time, but yeah, maybe incest.
Well, it's clear that creep catchers would definitely be on this for sure. They'd post a YouTube video about Uruk or Ningal or whatever.
Ishtar's whole story is kind of very like.
The whole thing is fucked up.
You probably don't want to catch her. You probably don't want to have her in your grasp, or you'll just end up another dead man on her list of past lovers.
Or mutilated, like the shepherd boy.
So overall, it's a pretty fair representation of Ishtar. And if you decide to join the game, I'm on PST Server 8 as Bekira.
Wonderful. Bekira. And Sophia, where can people reach you and see your content and other projects that you have going?
So I meant to give myself a sticky note so I could look at it today.
Okay.
But, nope, I didn't. My YouTube is youtube.com/user Fingerboxes, Fingerboxes. My Twitter is at BlueFingerbox, and I'm on Facebook at Sophia Mohamedova. If you just Google the name, you should be able to get all the results, because I picked the name for being too unique to be, it's not a name that anyone else has.
It's perfect. I think it's amazing. I'm very pro Mohamedova. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, not only for being the first recipient of my Jacob ! Residency, but for inaugurating it, and I hope that we will. May the podcast last at least a year, and may we have a great year together. What are some of the topics in the future that you'd like to cover on this residency?
Well, there are a lot more deities in the games that I play. Like I said, Kala is also in the game. She's the goddess of the Underworld, so that would be interesting. There are also several other gods and goddesses. The Naga is there, which is a half human, half snake. And I'll probably also do some other nerd culture stuff. Probably talk about Sherlock or Doctor Who. Okay.
And do those have any ties to religion or theology or mythology?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I'm sure we can twist it in there somehow. And if not, we can just go back to you in your sexy voice talking about your lavish lesbian lifestyle in Dreamland.
God, my lesbian lovers in my dreams.
Oh my God, so funny. We always come back to porn with me. But thank you very much, Sophia Mohamedova. This is Jacob.
Throughout history, the oppressors had a monopoly of power. They had the money, they controlled the media, they dominated the religious institutions.
And of course, they had armies and police to maintain the system of oppression.
But all of that